In-Field Observations with Megan Taylor with Nebraska Extension. Today we're going to talk anhydrous. We're going to focus on the environmental conditions that affect it, so soil temperature as well as soil wetness. So for soil wetness, the big thing we want to think about is sampling that. So if you get a golf ball size sample and you try to make a ribbon, if it's leaving a lot of residue on your hand, it's probably too wet. If you can make a ribbon and it just crumbles on the edges, you're good to go. We're going to turn it over to Aaron for some more info.
Hey everyone, it's Aaron Nygren with Nebraska Extension in Colfax, Cumming, and Stanton counties. So we're out in the field again for another one of our in-field observations. So today we're going to talk a little bit about anhydrous, and we're also going to talk about how long we have to wait before we plant it, okay? So with anhydrous and corn, we always want to practice some social distancing. So the big thing we worry about with corn seed or corn plants next to anhydrous is that free ammonia. So that free ammonia can cause burn. That's what we want to avoid with our roots and our seedlings, right? So the big thing there to do is try to keep some distance, okay? So I don't think that anhydrous burn should be as big of an issue this year because the one main factor in that is how much water is in the soil. So when that conversion process goes on, if it's drier, that ammonia expands more. Given our wetter soils, it shouldn't expand as much this year. Still though, to try to avoid that burn, couple recommendations. One thing is always try to wait the right number of days, okay? So the typical recommendation you'll hear is 5 to 7 days. Longer is always better. We can still get burned even some years with fall applied anhydrous. Another good recommendation is always to apply our anhydrous as deep as possible. By applying it as deep as possible, we have a less chance that it's going to get to that 2-inch where our seeded depth should be at, okay? Another thing we could also do, if we have precision guidance, we could always try to plant off of where we're applying our anhydrous ammonia. So if we could precisely apply our anhydrous ammonia and then slide off that by 15 inches when we plant, we should avoid all that burn. The other thing which we see a lot more often is we will apply the anhydrous at an angle and then we'll plant trying to avoid ending up directly on top of the anhydrous band as well. So hopefully these are some helpful tips. Thanks again for joining us for in-field observations, and tune back in for Thursday.